Hi YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we have the new Flysky PR02 receiver. This is a tiny little dual antenna receiver, compatible with ELRS and Crossfire. But yeah, this should be an interesting for the drone racers and the likes. But let's bring in for a close-up look, see what we get in this one. So first off, we got a little bit of information on the actual packaging. It does give you the pinout. So from the bottom left corner, we've got ground, VCC, TX1, RX1. Then we've got the boot button for the firmware updating. We've got RX2, TX2, TX3, RX3. Then the two antenna ports, heat shield and the LED. And then we have the SHB 1.0 connector in the middle. It does give you a few specs. So product name is PR02. It does S-bus and Crossfire. Compatible with fixed wing, delta wing, gliders, helicopters, multicopters, cars, basically out you want to stick a receiver in. Maximum achievable refresh rates are 500 and 1000 Hz. Minimum, it says 25, although it does say in the instruction manual 500, 1050 is the minimum. So it is slightly different to what it says on here. We do have two antennas for 2.4 gig. Maximum power is 2 by 250 milliwatts. So should get good range for transmitting data back for telemetry. And without the antennas, 4.55 grams. Does give you the measurements, so it's 26mm by 20mm by 6.3 millimeters, and it does have FCC and CE approval numbers. So let's get this open and see what we actually get. So we get the actual receiver itself. We've got us dual antenna plugs. We get these rather nice antennas, so you can just pop them on, or because it's using standard antenna plugs, you can swap it out for whatever antennas you want. We do get two of them. Does say keep them at least a centimetre apart, stops interference. Then we've got our nice connectors, nice and easy to solder to. It does mention in the instructions that they're sort of a horseshoe shape. Apparently it's meant to make it easier to solder onto these pads. So we've also got the boot button, which is nice and easy to press. LED at the top, nice little heatsink. We do get two longer screws. I'm not sure if they're designed for screwing all the way through the heatsink and then mounting. I'm not sure if that's the idea of them, but we do get two longer screws. I don't think they'd be for mounting the antennas or anything, but they do have a little ring on the bottom of these antennas, so I think if you're going to zip tie them to anything, that'd make it nice and easy to mount them. Then if we flick over on the back, we've got our actual port. These do come with two wires, one where we have the actual cable and nothing soldered to the end. So if you want to make up your own connection, and then we've got one that's actually got the opposite plug. So if that plug works for you, we've then got a bunch of these. So we get two of these bare cables. These have 6 wires on each. So if you want to use them to solder up, you've got 2 lots of them. Does come with the Wi-Fi antenna. So if you want to update the firmware through Wi-Fi, you can do it through that. If not, you're using the actual COM port on it and using the boot mode to get it into firmware update. I like the fact we get 2 of these little heat shrinks. So once you've got it all soldered up and connected up, you can heat shrink it in. Does help stop your antenna plugs popping out, and it keeps it a little bit sort of shielded against the elements. It does have dual temperature controlled oscillators, so if you are using this in an aircraft, usually the higher up you get, the colder it gets, and you don't want it affecting the performance of the electronics. So nice to see that they've got that base covered. But if we flick over to the instructions, I'll try and get a copy of these and put these on the screen for you. so you can see what we're going through, but we have had the pin out, the actual SHB 1 port. It does give you the pin out of that, so from bottom to top it's ground VCC, TX1, RX1. If we look at the actual product specs, it says compatible with all ELRS protocol transmitters and RF modules. It can be used for racing drones, fixed wing aircraft, gliders, helicopters, cars, boats, robots, anything you like. We have got 16 channels. It says the EU version of the firmware at least is below 20 dBm for its maximum power. 2.4 gig, protocol ELRS. So transmission modes, it says antenna diversity, true diversity or Gemini. We've got 2 T-shaped antennas, operating voltage 4.5 to 12.6 volt DC. Data can be Crossfire or S-bus. And this is the bits that are slightly different to what it says on the actual sticker. So maximum refresh rate 500 Hz, F1000 Hz, D500 Hz. Minimum 50 Hz. So slightly different to what it says on the sticker. Firmware update supports Wi-Fi or wired serial. Humidity 20% to 95. So temperature range minus 10 degrees centigrade to plus 60. And again, we've already covered the weight, but it's 4.55 grams, and dimensions 23 by 26 by 8.2 millimeters. I'm not sure if that's slightly different to what it said on sticker. Yeah, sticker says 6.3 mil. Maybe that's without the heatsink, but the actual manual says 8.3 mil. We do have a bit of an explanation of the LED status. So 2 flash, 1 off in orange, receiver is in binding mode. Solid on, receiver is connected to the transmitter. Slow flashing, receiver is attempting to establish connection to the transmitter. Fast flashing red, receiver detects no RF chip. Alternate rapid flashing green and orange, receiver enters Wi-Fi mode. 3 flash and 1 off in orange, receiver is connected to the transmitter but has a mismatched model configuration. So, bit of safety built in. Binding, turn off transmitter, for example using the PA01 with ELRS firmware. Put receiver into binding mode, power cycle the receiver 3 times rapidly, and then it should light up in binding mode. Then we have a few more bits on binding about you can connect to Wi-Fi with it and then set up a binding phrase. It just says be careful, because all receivers with a binding phrase will connect if they're powered on, so just bear that in mind. It does say alternative binding modes. So it says power it off within 1 second, repeat the above cycle 2 more times for a total of 3 intervals between less than 1 second. Once LED operates in orange 2 flash, 1 flash state repeatedly, receiver is in binding mode. Turn on the transmitter, put it into binding mode. On the main interface, go to system setup, hardware, internal RF, set it to Crossfire, system setup, tools, express ELRS and select bind. When the receiver turns solid on, binding is successful. Confirm that the transmitter and receiver are operating correctly. If not, repeat the above process. It does have a rather cool setup for the RF packet rate, in which the status LED of the PR02 receiver indicates the transmission packet rate by colour. So you do have a full spectrum, and it'll, at a glance, you should be able to look at it and tell what refresh rate it's getting. So that's quite interesting. Installation operations, again, it just tells you keep a 1 centimetre gap between the 2 antennas, just stops interference. TX interface, default setting of TX or TX1 outputs to Crossfire, TX3 has no output by default. SHB1 interface shares RX1 and TX1 serial port. TX2 is reserved for data output. It can also be set to output after the transmitter and receiver binding is complete. Navigate to System Setup, Tools, Express, ELRS. Other devices, Protocol 2 to configure it. And it also gives you a brief description of the functions and also the update process for updating the firmware by Wi-Fi. And as I say, you can also plug it in and use the serial port to update it, and that's what the little boot button is for. Boot it into firmware update mode. So yeah, quite a comprehensive little receiver. As I said, this is just a first look at it, give you some idea of what you get in the actual box and just a brief description of what its capabilities are. So the main takeaways from it: it's a nice small receiver, 250 milliwatts of power on each of the antennas, so transmitting on each one of those, so it should be good for getting telemetry back as well over a good distance. Dual temperature controlled oscillators, and it does support Crossfire and S-bus, so yeah, should be quite a powerful little receiver, this one. The people that are looking at stuff like this, I'm guessing you're going to be running it with some along the lines of the PA01 or some other Express ELRS and Edge TX firmware transmitter. But nice to see Flysky jumping on with the open source sort of software and building the hardware around it. It does look particularly well made. Looks nice and easy to solder to. Like the fact that you've got Wi-Fi option added for the firmware update. But for some people that just don't like doing that, yeah, I've got the dual boot, so you can boot it into firmware update mode and go through the connection port and program it that way. But yeah, that was a quick look at the PR02 dual antenna Crossfire ELRS S-bus receiver from Flysky. So let's wrap this one up. Well, there you have it, the PR02 receiver from Flysky. As I said, nice to see they're embracing the open source software and making hardware around this. Nice that you get all the cables and everything that you're going to need with this, and the longer screws. Yeah, so just another option out there for Crossfire ELRS receivers. But yeah, thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one.